Good morning, and today is day 3 of our 30-day to camera confidence challenge. And today I thought I would talk about what I have in my diet, or my menopause diet, to help me control my menopause symptoms. And this one will be a bit more tricky for me because I'm going to have to list some information, and to be honest, some of this information I do know, but because being on camera always makes you feel a lot more anxious, and again, I'm still not in the house on my own. So as you know, I am in my mid-50s, and I'm not and I haven't escaped menopause symptoms, let's just say. So over the years I have had to learn a lot of information, and I've done a lot of research. I am qualified nutritionist, so I should know my stuff. And so I thought I'd share what 3 types of foods that has really helped me to calm down my menopause symptoms that I had right at the beginning of my menopause journey. And I am now, about 2 years postmenopausal, and just through my diet and lifestyle changes I've been able to manage my menopause symptoms without any hormone replacement therapy, namely because I know that hormone replacement therapy has some real benefits for a lot of women and for women in general. And I'm not against that, and truth be known, I have had periods during my perimenopausal journey where I thought maybe I should just go to the doctor and get some hormones. But as someone who's always believed in working with my body, I really just didn't want to. And at the same time, I also, from my research, do know that estrogen and all our hormones are really important when it comes to our health, which is why I had to make sure I did the research to make sure that I am supporting my body through the transitional period and protecting my health for the future. So today I am sharing with you what I have added to my diet, and these are scientifically backed because I've done the research, and having come from a medical background in terms of I had a 12-year career as a midwife, and again through my nutritional diploma, everything that I've known in the past 20, 30 plus years has been research based. So let's get on with, I will be looking down at my list because these are just knowledge that I do know, but it helps to have some prompts. So the first types of foods that I have in my menopause diet are sources of proteins. And proteins are basically made up of amino acids, and these are the building blocks for your body to make your muscles, your bones, your enzymes, and some of your hormones. For me, I have protein as part of my menopause diet because it helps to keep me feel full for longer. It stops the snacking in between, and more importantly, I find that if I don't have much protein in my diet during the day, I will wake up in the middle of the night and I find it really hard to go to sleep again. And if you're a woman at this stage in life, you will know how lack of sleep affects us. You wake up groggy, you're irritable, you're moody, and the worst thing is, if you're working and you're not getting much sleep, you will have brain fog, and it's not like these lack of sleep episodes is just once a night or once a week or what have you. For a lot of us it can be days and months and years, and it gets really, really difficult, and lack of sleep can affect us, not just ourselves but how we are with family and our work. And if you can't work, I know that from what I read in other women's experiences, brain fog can be a worry, because if you're not being able to do your job, it could mean losing your job, and that will have consequences in your life. So that's what I have. Protein. So in terms of protein, just your normal meals. So the obvious sources of protein are your beef, chicken, lamb, and other animal sources of protein. So I tend to have more fish. Eating with the family, we do eat a lot of pork, which I'm not a total fan of. I don't mind it now and again, but we do eat a lot of pork. I prefer my steaks. I like chicken and fish as well. So I tend to have protein, high protein yogurts in my green juices. Well, they're not juice, but green powders. I will talk about that as I develop this channel. I will have eggs, scrambled eggs, on days that I do have breakfast, because I tend not to have breakfast every day. I do try to fast, but if I do have breakfast, it tends to be eggs, because it's nice and satisfying and it's quick. Yeah, so for example, on the evening when I went to collect and put my stuff in storage, I had a really nice piece of ribeye steak with broccoli sprouts and mushrooms. So that was a really nice treat, because I thought, why not? Okay, so plant sources of protein, if you're more prone to the plant-based diet, includes chickpeas and legumes. So your chickpeas, lentils, beans, those sort of plant-based foods. You can also have nuts and seeds. I do like snacking on nuts, but you have to be really careful, because if you are on a weight loss regime of some sort, nuts has got a lot of calories, but I tend not to restrict anything, for me anyway. Yeah, nuts and seeds and edamame I have some of sometimes as well. So the next types of foods that I add in my menopause diet are sources of good fats. And good fats, namely food sources that provides omega-3 fatty acids. And omega-3 fatty acids is really good, especially during perimenopause or menopause. And for me now, I'm post-menopause. And omega-3 fatty acids, again, provide the building blocks to create healthy skin, hair and nails. It's really, really good also for hormone production and balance. And that is one reason why I have a lot of fats in my menopause diet. And this is especially so because when I started my perimenopause journey, the thing that made me realise I was at that stage in life is because I was waking up in the mornings and I would feel so depressed. Literally, I can remember myself getting up and thinking, why am I depressed? And I know now, as you do when you do your reflection, partly that was to do with personal issues, and I've talked about that at some point. in my previous videos. But also it is to do with the hormones, and the reason that I started eating more sources of good fats was because I bought some supplements, some soft flower oil supplements, I think they were, at the time, and this was before I knew about perimenopause, and I found that it really helped improve my moods. So I was still in my 3rd year of my nutrition diploma studies at the time, and we get taught that your first port of call should be through your food. So that's why I did the research, and then by chance we'd already done, or we had gotten into talking about omega-3 fatty acids, and that's why I include a lot of omega-3 fatty acids sources in my diet. So these would be things like your oily fish, your salmon, mackerel, anchovies, those types of oily fish, and from plant sources of omega-3 fatty acids. We're talking about nuts and seeds, olives, olive oil, coconut oil. Yeah, so it really helps with hormones, and especially with your brain as well. So the 3rd types of foods that I have in my menopause diet are sources of cruciferous vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables are really important when you are going through menopause. And this is what gets me when people talk about menopause is, oh, our estrogen's dropping, so we need to cram in as much estrogen in our body. But the thing is, we need a good balance of estrogen. Now, when we're going through perimenopause, or when we're going through the change, although all our hormones are dropping, the other female hormones, testosterone and progesterone, actually drops a lot faster than estrogen. So although all of the hormones are dropping, we still need to keep them in balance. And when your progesterone and testosterone is dropping really quickly, your estrogen is higher up, so you can see there is that imbalance that's going on, and it tends to be that it's the imbalances that is causing you your menopause hormones to get worse. So cruciferous vegetables, basically they provide a good source of fiber to encourage bowel movements. So if you are experiencing constipation in menopause, start adding some cruciferous vegetables in your diet. The second thing is that the fiber in the cruciferous vegetables will feed your beneficial gut bacteria, and these then, as a result, this process provide your body with something called short chain fatty acids, which is really good, one for metabolizing your carbohydrates and the proteins in your diet. They also provide sources of energy, because these short chain fatty acids create B vitamins in your colon. So it's really good that if you are feeling more fatigued during menopause, to start adding more cruciferous vegetables in your diet. And for me, the most important thing about having lots of cruciferous vegetables in my diet is because they provide compounds that support the metabolism, the balance, and the excretion of estrogen. And this is why I was talking about that although all our hormones drop from perimenopause onwards, we still need to keep them in balance. And this is also, for me, why I eat a lot of cruciferous vegetables, namely because too much estrogen in the body, whether you're a female or a male is really not good, and cruciferous vegetables just provides the compounds that help to keep the estrogen in balance. So sources of estrogen or sources of cruciferous vegetables includes cabbage, kale, pak choy, Brussels sprouts, turnips. I found that radish is also a really good source of cruciferous vegetables. Those are the really important foods, and a lot of the foods that I include regularly in my menopause diet. And I can see that I've gone on for 17 minutes. I didn't expect that it would go on for so long. And I hope that you've enjoyed today's challenge. I hope you've enjoyed day 3 of the 30-day confidence in front of a camera challenge, and I shall see you tomorrow for day 4.